Alright, so here's the story of how I made $4,000 playing Hypixel. See, it all started when I was like 6. Basically, I would just, as soon as I would get money from birthdays or Christmas, your only two sources of income as a child, I would just immediately spend them on Nerf guns or Lego sets. Until one day I thought, what if there's something that I really want, and I don't have enough money to buy it? What if it's like $20 or $21? Because, you know, that's a lot of money. Uh, so then I started saving until eventually, when I was like 12, I thought, I have all this saved money, but what am I going to do with it? Like, can I turn it into more money or something? And that is the same year that basically my principal had some random boomer they just pulled off the street speak in my like class about lifestyle and economics or something like that. And basically, he just said, like, because of the investments I made as a teenager, I don't need to like I don't need a 401k to retire. I can just live off those investments now. And so he basically opened it up by saying that, and I thought, whoa! This guy did something productive when he was a teenager. This dude made money when he was my age. And then he just explained what the stock market was, pretty much. And I was hanging on his every word. The principal later said about me, quote, he was the only one who seemed like he was paying attention. So that was a pretty good time. And basically I thought, you know, I probably can't do it while I'm 12, but maybe when I'm an adult. And then 2 years later, I was 14, and I realized that's really, really dumb. He said teenager. So that is when I started investing. I bought about $1,200 worth of Tesla shares at $300 a piece. More on that later. And then I kind of just sat there. You know, I didn't really do much until Bitcoin. See, okay. I I spent pretty much all of my remaining money on Bitcoin when it was on between like $5,000 and $8,000 per Bitcoin, right? And then, because my mother gives very good stock advice, you know, she basically she told me that like this is a bubble, and then she encouraged me to sell within an hour of the all-time high of Bitcoin like falling. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty gaming. So I made a 3 times investment on my I made a 3 times return rate on my investment. And that's pretty damn good, especially because it was only in a few months. But then I thought, so the Bitcoin bubble popped, right? But what about Litecoin? So I put all that money into Litecoin. This is why you should not finance as a teenager, because you're just going to do dumb crap like that, unless you have good parents and whatnot. I mean, I did, and I made good decisions, but I also made bad ones. Basically, I then sold my Litecoin low, making so that I lost half of the money that I put in. Still a 60% return rate. I made a few $100s from cryptocurrencies, but like it was a bra moment, to be sure. But basically, at the end of all of this, like months later, I went to Vegas with my parents. Like Tesla stocks were just crashing from $300 to $200, and I thought, well, I'm taking Tesla's growth for granted, so I'm just gonna spend all of my money on more Tesla shares. And my parents thought it was a dumb idea, and rightfully so. My last investment lost 50% of what I put in, but they still let me do it because they're very nice and all that jazz. And then a few years later, Tesla grew a little bit. I don't know if you know this, but recently Tesla has been doing okay in the stock market. See, okay, Tesla shares are now $500 a piece. I bought 5 shares at $200 a piece. But that's not all. Recently they split, or like a few weeks ago, I don't know, not really recent, they split, making so that shares were basically 1/5 as valuable, but you got 5 times as many. So like one share worth $2,000 turns into 5 shares worth $400, right? And so I made a 12 times return rate on this investment I made in Vegas, and that was quite a bro moment, to be honest. Not a bro moment. This one was good. Okay. So, right, bringing this back to the point of the whole story. The other day, Tesla went up about 10%. And see, I was either asleep or playing Hypixel for 95% of the time that it was going up, right? So that basically means that I made $4,000 while playing Hypixel. It's not that big of a stretch, and you might be saying, wait, you're saying you got money from something unrelated while playing Hypixel. I don't think that really constitutes getting it playing Hypixel. Well, you see, I didn't say getting it by playing Hypixel. I said getting it while. Well, I didn't say well. I just said getting it playing Hypixel. So, yeah, that's... Okay, well, you know, I'm getting what I deserve. I just got annihilated. Okay, right. So that's the story of how I made a bunch of money doing something completely unrelated. The moral of the story is, if you save your money and then invest it, it doesn't matter if you start when you're 6 years old or 30 years old, you're going to make a lot of money, and it's going to be funny, and then you can make terrible videos like this. Speaking of terrible videos, chances are, if you've gotten this far into the video, one of two things are true. Either you like CBT, or you have a stable internet connection. And that means the true cost of subscribing is like 0.9 seconds, and also your recommendations tab will be filled with further content like this, which, that's a pretty hefty cost. Holy, how did I win that? That's a pretty hefty cost. I would pay like 35, maybe 36 cents not to get recommended videos like this. But if you don't have 36 cents, I guess you gotta subscribe, you know. Or if you liked what you saw. This joke has gone on too long. I don't know how to end this. So, have you heard of the tale of the dude who got shot? All right, subscribe.